Invincible Season 4 releases in March this year, and I have now read the entire comic run, so I know exactly what's coming. But with the show including new additional storylines, and with the upcoming Viltrumite War arc approaching, what will we really expect from the season? Where will we pick up, and where will it end? Assuming the episodes remain around the same length, there's two distinct cutoff points that I could see for the season, either ending with the conclusion of the Viltrumite War or ending a bit past it. So let's try to map out two different potential ideas for the season. Warning, this video will contain spoilers for the comics and for Season 4. If I'm wrong about some things, it'll also spoil Season 5. You have been warned. Closer to the end of the video, I'll talk briefly about what I expect from Season 5, but again, if I'm wrong, then some stuff might end up being for Season 6. Basically, I'll be spoiling stuff up to roughly around issue 105 of the comics, but I'll warn you again before I do that, so don't worry. According to the synopsis for the first episode of the season, we follow Nolan and Alan on an important mission, as well as Mark and his family trying to move on after the battle with Conquest, lining up perfectly with the end of issue 65, which is where Season 3 ends. We'll see as Nolan and Alan return to the coalition of planets, meeting with Thetis and being sent off to find numerous powerful beings that can help in the battle with the Viltrumites. We'll juggle between scenes of them finding Space Racer or Ryder or whatever his name is, the Ragnars, and learning about someone with Galdarian armor. As they go on these side missions, Mark faces off against dinosaurs for the first time. He and Eve see Oliver, who now has longer hair, much lighter purple skin, and a brand new red and black suit. The episode ends as we cut to Eve in the bathroom with a positive pregnancy test in her hands, and the credits will start to roll, but a mid-credit scene will begin. We'll see Conquest waking up in his enclosure and effortlessly breaking out and flying his naked ass up into space. Episode 2 follows Mark and the other superheroes as two different catastrophic events are taking place on the same day. Mark is dealing with an alien named Universa who is trying to rob this world of energy to use for her world. At the same time, the Guardians are facing off against the Sequids, who have reattached to Russ Livingston and are attacking the Earth with a massive army of Sequids. After Mark deals with Universa, he joins the fight against the Sequids. Unfortunately, he believes he has no choice but to kill Russ Livingston. Robot expresses his distaste for this decision, and Mark is disgusted in himself and the fact that he made this decision. He talks to Eve about it, and Cecil brings him to the GDA and shows off how people can be redeemed, including DA Sinclair. Mark finally agrees with Cecil. He believes this blue and black suit is a curse, so to make a change in his life and avoid killing any more people, he goes to Art, who gives him back his original yellow suit. In the comics, Art gives him a version without knee pads and with full-fingered gloves, but the trailer for Season 4 shows that it's just the original. The episode ends with Nolan and Alan landing on Earth to recruit Mark for the battle against the Viltrumites. The mid-credit scene once again follows Conquest, this time returning to the Viltrumites, kneeling before what is our first look at the powerful Grand Regent Thrag, the main villain of the series. Thrag instructs him to kill the army that is soon on its way to them. Episode 3 picks up right where the last episode ends off. Mark and Alan meet with Tech Jacket and Mark prepares to leave, saying goodbye to Eve and his mother. But before he does leave, the Flaxons attack Earth once again. The battle is won, but to ensure they don't return again, Robot and Monster Girl follow them to their dimension, and they aren't seen again until next season. There's also the long-awaited reunion between Nolan and Debbie. This is the part that I think can be done in a few different ways. The end of Season 3 teased a storyline featuring Damien Darkblood, one that was not in the comics and is exclusive to the show. Robert Kirkman confirmed that he wrote episode 4 of the season, and that episode followed a new storyline that wasn't in the comics, so clearly that episode is the Damien Darkblood storyline. So how does the Viltrumite War transition into that? Well, the storyline is going to follow Darkblood bringing someone to Hell to help him with something. This will most likely be either Nolan or Mark, so if this is how the season goes, I wouldn't be surprised if this episode ends with either of them getting sucked into a portal to Hell, or just some sort of setup preparing episode 4 for the Darkblood storyline. However, the end of episode 4 sees them actually leaving Earth and going to space to prepare for the battle against the Viltrumites. The episode ends with a few Viltrumites destroying the ship and Mark seeing Conquest alive and well. Episode 5 covers the rematch between Mark and Conquest, where he kills him once and for all, placing Mark in a coma. Oliver and Omni-Man have some bonding time, which will be nice to see, and Alan and Tech Jacket spend some time on some side missions, taking back control of planets the Viltrumites have taken over. The episode ends as Mark wakes up, and Nolan and Oliver tell him that he needs to fully heal up and prepare for battle. In a mid-credit scene, we get the reveal of Thrag's mole. Episode 6 shows Mark fully healing up and the three Graysons returning to the war. The Viltrumites attack Telescria, leading to another, larger scale, but also slightly less intense battle. The Coalition learns of Thrag's mole, and the main team gets together. We have Tech Jacket, Mark, Alan, Nolan, Battle Beast, Space Racer, Oliver, and Thetis, and they all prepare for the battle against the Viltrumites. All the remaining Viltrumites have reconvened at the planet Viltrum. Episode 7 picks up right where the last one left off with the Battle of Viltrum. Thrag completely destroys Oliver, and the 3 remaining good Viltrumites, Mark, Nolan, and Thetis, use their strength and speed to blow up Viltrum. Thetis tells Thrag to surrender, but Thrag has none of it and rips Thetis apart. Thrag then beats the absolute hell out of Mark, giving us our first glimpse at the true power of Thrag. Thrag destroys both Nolan and Mark, but decides to leave them alive as while they did betray Viltrum, they are still Viltrumites and may be needed to allow their people to survive. The episode ends with everyone healing up. Oliver is miraculously alive, healing up in a tank, and Alan has been made the top dog of the coalition, as he puts it. He tells them how the Viltrumites have completely disappeared, and the episode ends with Mark's realization that the Viltrumites have gone to Earth. Episode 8 opens with Thrag and the other Viltrumites obliterating Earth and its people. He murders Cecil with ease, Eve and the Guardians are decimated, and Debbie is decapitated. The Viltrumites have truly won. It's then revealed that this is just Mark's imagination of what the Viltrumites could be doing. He currently is on a ship with Nolan heading back to Earth. As soon as they arrive, the two scour the planet in search for the Viltrumites, and everything seems fine and they don't seem to be there. Unfortunately, they're wrong. Thrag reveals himself, and we witness the iconic scene of Thrag suggesting a truce. The Viltrumites will live on Earth, repopulating for the years to come, and they will not be disturbed. Mark, at first, declines this offer, but he knows, not only due to Thrag's word, but also due to the fact that they have no idea where the remaining Viltrumites are, that if they don't agree, the Viltrumites will win. The rest of the episode follows the aftermath of everything, with Mark going to see Eve, Nolan seeing Debbie, and the episode ends with the reveal that Alan has possession of the Scourge virus as well as Dinosaurus breaking out of prison. Most of this I think is pretty solid, but I also think that there's a few other options for how the story will progress. I think the first 5 episodes can remain the same without much issue, but I think the Battle of Telescria and the Battle of Viltrum could instead happen in one episode, moving the truce to episode 7. After they agree to the truce, Mark and Nolan return home, where it's revealed that Debbie has broken up with Paul. Because they've done a lot more character work on Debbie throughout the show, I wouldn't be surprised if they delayed that breakup to a bit later on so Debbie and Nolan don't get back together immediately. I wouldn't mind either way, as I do think it's done fairly well in the comics, though I just wouldn't be surprised if they tweak it slightly. Then Mark visits Eve, leading to the reveal that she has put on some weight, and Nolan meets with Cecil. Later, Mark and Eve have dinner with Immortal and Kate, who have now moved in together and had children in a secluded area. The episode will end with Eve telling Mark that she tragically had an abortion. The mid-credits scene will show that Dinosaurus has broken out of prison, leading into the final episode of the season. The final episode may or may not include the interesting and kind of unique scene with Gravitator, but it will mostly focus on Dinosaurus and him blowing up Las Vegas. The mid-credits scene will show off how Alan has the Scourge virus, all setting up both the Scourge virus and Dinosaurus to be the main plot points in the next season. Yet another option can keep the first 2 episodes exactly the same, but for episode 3, I changed some stuff around. Instead of having the entire episode be preparations for the war, it'll instead only be half preparations. Halfway through the episode, they leave Earth, and the fight with Conquest and the other Viltrumites will also happen in this episode. The episode will end with a shot of Mark on the ground with Conquest's corpse next to him, leading to him being in a coma for the next episode. As for the Damien Darkblood storyline, there's 2 other options I could see. First, while Mark is in his coma, his consciousness will be sent to Hell, allowing the whole Damien Darkblood storyline to happen in episode 4, while still progressing the Viltrumite storyline. The other option could be that Mark is in his coma, Nolan and Oliver bond, Alan and Tech Jacket do their side quests, and the Damien Darkblood storyline could instead have nothing to do with them, instead being a storyline about Earth. And maybe the person Darkblood is talking about at the end of season 3 is instead Cecil or someone like that. To me, that option is less likely due to the fact that Darkblood says that being has great power and abilities, and Darkblood talks about how he has means of conjuring this being, so the coma idea to me works pretty well. The episode will end with Mark waking up from his coma, the same way my previous version of episode 5 would. The new episode 5 will focus on the Battle of Telescria and the preparations for the Battle of Viltrum, and then episode 6 will be the Battle of Viltrum itself, leading once again to the truce at the beginning of episode 7. Honestly, I think either of those last 2 options works a little bit better, because I think the Scourge virus plot and the Dinosaurus stuff takes up a lot of time and would kind of be difficult to cram into one season, which I think they will do. But if they don't have Dinosaurus blowing up Las Vegas in season 4, it will be even harder. This is where I'm going to get into a bit of spoiler territory for potential season 5 and maybe even 6 if I'm wrong about some of this. Basically, either they rush stuff in season 5 with Dinosaurus blowing up Las Vegas, the Scourge virus stuff happening, Mark losing his powers, getting them back, the bulletproof stuff, the robot monster girl Flaxen stuff, the exile of Thrag, and Dinosaurus dying by the end of the season, which honestly I think is too much to happen in one season, especially if they do add stuff and if they don't make the episodes longer or make more episodes. Or the alternative is that all this stuff gets way too stretched out and is made into 2 entire seasons. That, or the conclusion of the Dinosaurus stuff, happens at kind of an awkward point in the middle of Season 6, which could cause problems for the arrangement of Season 7. Personally, I think Season 5 ending with the conclusion of the Dinosaurus storyline just works better, leaving the robot stuff for Season 6, and the conclusion of the story for Seasons 7 and 8. I think there will definitely be between 7 and 9 seasons, but I think it's most likely for there to be 8, and I think that fits all the major story beats the best. It's also possible that the first option ends up being what happens, and they start Season 5 with Vegas, moving all the Flaxen stuff to Season 6, only lightly teasing it in Season 5. Either way, I personally think that Season 4 will either end with the truce or Dinosaurus blowing up Vegas. Then Season 5 will focus on the Scourge virus and end with Mark killing Dinosaurus, and Season 7 will have the Anissa incident and Robot's whole storyline. I know I've discussed a lot of different ideas for Season 4 in this video, and I think there's many different ways it can go. I might be completely wrong in all of my predictions, so I'll most likely be doing a video when Season 4 ends, talking about how well I predicted it. I'll also definitely do a prediction video for Season 5, and I also have a video planned about the Anissa incident itself and how I think it'll be handled in the show. But what do you guys think? When do you think Season 4 will end, and how many seasons do you think the show will have? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you later.